To ask you, what is your view on social media?
My view on social media?
Yeah.
I use it a lot.
Do you think that...
I use it all day, every day. If I haven't checked Snapchat or Twitter in the past 15 minutes, it's weird.
Do you believe that FOMO is a real thing?
I think the fear of it is true. I don't think that there is a reason to be afraid of it. I don't think that it's just because you don't have social media, you're going to miss out.
Social media, you're able to express yourself in a way that everyone can see. And so honestly, I think social media is a good thing, but also at the same time it can be dangerous on how everyone can see what you're doing. So I feel like there's a fear of security.
I feel like for the past 5 days, I decided to give up my phone because I wanted to prove that this is a gateway to modern isolation. Hypothetically, we're always engrossed in our phones because of social media, texting, all that jazz. And I decided that, why not just prove it wrong and see what life is like outside of it. One thing I didn't really prepare for was the fact that this is such an important tool. This has your plans, this has your text, a camera, an alarm clock, a newscaster because it tells you what the forecast is outside, emails, contact with friends, and I wanted to know what life was like if all of that just stopped. And I would have to do everything manually on my own. And it was actually really challenging. I realized that walking to class without headphones is really, really weird. It's quiet regardless of the cars honking at each other and the street is silent. Why, you ask? Because I observed that everybody was on their phones. They're on the phone, texting, or just listening to music on their way to wherever they needed to go. And I remember before, neighborhoods, you'd wake up and you'd see everyone, you're walking down the streets, hello, good morning. And now it's just I need to get from point A to point B as quick as possible. Why is that? Why did we decide to just isolate ourselves? Besides the aggravation of not having my phones, I would eat lunch with my friends, but I was the only one who didn't have a phone. You're just kind of standing there what do I do now? I found myself basically just eating alone. How does this have the power to make me an invisible or heard person? Another thing is I didn't have any sense of time. I had no idea what time it was, where I needed to go, what I needed to do, so I would always have to sleep with my laptop next to me. I also realized that on my phone it has my Google Drive, and I didn't have it, so I was completely unprepared. Why do we feel the need to document every single thing that we're doing? It's because of this thing called FOMO, the fear of missing out. With a phone or without a phone, it's very present and it's unavoidable, and it sucks because it makes you feel horrible, and it just makes you feel oh man, why am I not a part of that? Why didn't I go to that? I realized when I didn't have a phone, we can only do that to an extent. Who wrote in stone that we needed to document every single thing that's interesting in our lives? Because the first thing you do is you post a picture. That gives your audience the perception that, oh, I'm doing this is cool, this is fun, this is great. You're kind of making a fake persona, an alter ego of yourself. We can't keep enhancing, editing, filtering, doing things to ourselves to give us this better image of ourselves. We are beautiful the way that we are, and I learned that. Social media has the power to destroy or uplift a person. FOMO needs to stop. We shouldn't feel horrible about ourselves. You have to be living in that moment. Because social media played a huge part of my life when it came to body shaming. I couldn't accept myself for who I really was. This whole entire experiment taught me that I need to stop comparing myself to others because it's just not gonna get me anywhere. One of the other things that I learned is the fact that you kind of lose daily routines and traditions that you used to do. I realized that a lot of the things that we used to do when we were younger, it's not available anymore. It's not a normal thing to do, and it was normal to us at the time. Before we would go to bed, our parents would read us a book, right? And now today it's you give your child the iPad, let them watch an episode of Bob the Builder, and they're knocked right out of the park. They're going to go to bed. By the 4th and 5th day, I realized having a phone isn't bad. I was satisfied with not having a phone. It's the social media that's what makes it look bad. You know, it's a very easy way to escape. After this 5-day phone hiatus, I was like, this is really weird. Life with a phone is weird. But I wouldn't go on it probably as much as I used to. I waste so much time on my phone and I'm not paying attention to what's out there. And it's scary because it's like, I don't know if I'm capable of controlling that anymore. Like, are we capable of just ignoring a text? Are we capable of, like, ignoring a call? I mean, after the 5th day, when I got my phone back, I was happy. It was more of like, okay, cool, I have it now. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I'm still gonna be stopped in my tracks eventually, and I'm gonna fall back into it, but it's like, we let a phone dominate, basically, our lives. Your phone has the power. The social media, not having a phone for 5 days, I hate this so much. Socializing, Vine, Instagram, I needed it. YouTube videos, Snapchat, I needed it. It has the power. Facebook, I didn't have my phone. I needed it. Living their lives when I could be living my own. Power of a phone. It has the power to be like, hey, look at me. It has the power to be like, hey. It has the power to be like, it has the power to be let a phone dominate. It has this power. It's the power of what social media can do to you.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.